Okay, so in this video, I'm going to talk about which niches I would probably pick if I was starting out again, which niches you should probably pick, why I would pick these niches, which niches not to pick, and just give you my whole philosophy on niches and which industries to move into when you are looking to start an SMMA, or maybe you're looking to change which niche you're currently in right now. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Ben Lister. I help agency owners to save thousands and thousands of hours by doing their outreach for them sometimes, so they can actually start working on their agency rather than working in their agency. So I've actually worked in lots of niches, like 10 plus niches right now, doing outreach, signing clients, making money from these niches. Not my businesses myself, but obviously I've been working with a range of different SMMAs now, and I have an understanding of more niches than most people simply because of that. So I think I'm a little bit more qualified than the average person who, maybe they can give their take on a niche. They haven't really done this, maybe they worked with gyms in the past and they say, I wouldn't work with restaurants because it's like a low ticket value or something like that. But I've actually worked with a wide range of niches now, so I have a really good understanding of what's working right now, what isn't. I think I understand why these niches don't work and why niches tend to go good and then go bad, and there's this sort of wave pattern almost. And what I want to do is I want to go into the computer and really show you my philosophy on this and why this works, and this is going to help you to not only pick the niche for this year and the upcoming year, but it also will help you to pick niches in the future. And if you see a change in the market, you're actually able to anticipate these changes and pick the best niche for you. So let's go into the computer and I'll show you how this thing works. Okay, so the way that I see niches is almost like scale of sorts, right? And if you can imagine that this is a scale, I promise you it is. Let's say that this is a niche is good. So, let's say that this, for example, is gyms, right? I promise you that says gyms, but it does, okay? When the scale is tipped this way, gyms are bad, as in you are going to make less money. There's lots of competition. There is, it's tough to sign clients, whatever it may be. And then this is the section where gyms are good, just like that, okay? And so what tends to happen over time, it's not always the fact that working with gyms is bad. There's lots of gyms out there. There's lots of people offering the same things. There's lots of agencies, trying to do what you're looking to do. And so this makes the competition obviously bad, right? And so it's going to tilt more towards this side, right? But then what always tends to happen, and I'm seeing this more and more now with a range of different niches, is that things get so bad, right? There's lots of different people that's on here, right? These are people. This is a bunch of people stood on here and they're all joining the gym, the agency space for gym, not the literal gym. And it's starting to tilt this more and more and more until eventually we have all of these people on here right now. It's getting pretty chaotic. Gym owners are getting emailed every 30 seconds and it's just chaos, right? And there's a lot on here. And so it tilts so much eventually that most of these people actually fall off. And once they start to fall off, then this starts to correct itself, right? And it starts to go back to this way. And now there's less competition. It's a little bit more of a blue ocean. It's not as if, gym owners are getting emailed every 10 seconds now. Maybe gym owners are getting emailed every 2 days now, okay? So it's not too bad. And this is the way that I see lots of niches go. Now, this isn't just in terms of competition. This is in terms of service delivery. So for example, one thing that lots of agency gym owners like to do is they like to do a database reactivation. So gyms need to have a good database and need to have, a few thousand leads or whatever it is to reactivate that database and to go and generate appointments from that. And so after a few years, these gym owners haven't done that for a while. They haven't paid someone to do that. Maybe there's new gyms out there with new databases that haven't actually ever been reactivated now. And so this is why the niche gets a little bit easier and it gets a little bit better. And, sometimes I would recommend it. And I think that right now, maybe around like 2020, 2021 was when there was lots of different gym agencies. It was very, very saturated. People were offering the same things. Gyms were actually more likely to, be bombarded with emails and things like that. Now they've all sort of fallen off because guys, they couldn't get to 10K. They quit, they give up, they moved on to something else, right? Maybe they sell NFTs or something now. And so what I've noticed in the last year or so is that I think gyms, even though it's like a very, very popular niche and it's like a typical SMMA niche, I think that it's a fantastic niche at the moment. Based on what I've seen, when I speak to guys, there's not a lot of people that saying, I want to work with gyms. And in reality, most people that do SMMA, most people that are into self-improvement and they want to grow businesses, they've been to the gym, they know what it's like, they've operated, they've been to that business, they've been a customer for that business before, they have at least some interest in it. Whereas if people focus on home improvement, I think the amount of people that have started an SMA, been interested in starting an SMMA, that have, had their kitchen remodeled or they've, had some kind of home improvement done, they've paid for itself, is probably lower than someone that's been to the gym and has had a gym membership and been for a while. And so this is why I think it's one of the best niches. And so niches that I would say right now that have had this cycle and are now on the good side would be gyms. I would actually say med spas is getting to that point, even though there's a lot of people out there that are doing med spas right now. And I would also say accountants. I don't think accountants has had this cycle, but I feel like not too many people know about it. And this is what I would put on the good side. So we're going to put these on the good side. And so niches I would say are on the bad cycle right now is probably real estate, almost definitely home improvement. And I guess you could put e-commerce in here because e-commerce is always very saturated. It's basically what 50% of people want to do originally. They want to approach e-commerce agencies because it's more money and it's, higher ticket and stuff like that. But I would almost say, I was actually speaking to an e-commerce agency owner just yesterday, and we were talking about the fact that it doesn't actually seem like there's a lot of agencies out there that are doing this right now, particularly not inbound. So maybe e-commerce is going over to the good side. E-commerce is like a whole different thing. It's almost like there's lead gen on one side and then e-commerce on another side. And as well with e-commerce, this is a point that's been raised many times, but if you are just starting out at this, right, it's more than acceptable for you to and say that you know more about marketing than they do, right? Because this would make sense. A home improvement business owner is probably very good at designing kitchens or, improving the home, whatever it is, right? But in actual fact, if you go to an e-commerce brand owner and you say, I'm going to be better at marketing than you, I've never done this before, but I know how to do this. I know how to generate money for your business, even though this is what you do, because marketing is 99% of e-commerce. It's unlikely. Like, these guys are very good at what they do. This is basically their whole knowledge base. This is like their whole career is just learning how to sell things on the internet. And so you saying that is very, very difficult to do. It's almost like you go to the home improvement business and you say, I'm going to design better kitchens than you. I'm going to design, better roofs than you. I'm going to tell you how you can do this for cheaper, whatever it is. It's probably not going to happen because they're very good at what they do. They probably know that a little bit better. They don't really need help with that as such. And so this is why I think e-commerce is a very, very tricky one. You have to really know what you're doing and have that original experience. Maybe you start an e-commerce brand or you help someone to grow their e-commerce brand or something like that. So I would typically avoid it for beginners. I feel like you have to be very, very good to get into that. And now I want to make a point about saturation, right? And so lots of people to say that, niches don't really saturate. It's really the offers that saturate, and it's what the services that the people are providing that saturate it. It's not really the niche as such. You could always provide more services to, home improvement, and you could always provide more services to gyms or whatever it is that people consider a saturated niche, right? But if you consider, let's say that this is the niche, right? In this niche, there's a bunch of problems, right? So there's the marketing problem, okay? There is the hiring problem. There's the service delivery problem, systems in here, and there's all these different problems, right? And most people, they want to focus on marketing. This is what people want to do. They want to run Facebook ads. They want to be sort of passive. They don't want to run a recruitment agency. They don't want to, be an automation agency where they come in and they, systemize the business and stuff like that, because that takes quite a lot of skill. It's not really something that you can just copy and paste. The marketing agency that people want to run is something where they just copy and paste the service, and it really takes the same amount of effort to run one client as it does to run 50 clients. And that's the business that a lot of people are looking for. And so let's say if this is the marketing section in here, right? What we have at the moment, and this is home improvement, we have tons and tons of people that are in here now, right? And eventually these people will drop off because they won't get to the, the 10K they're looking for. They will give up too early. They will, they won't do it, right? But there's a bunch of people in here right now. But then when it comes to, recruitment, how many people actually work for them, having people to work for these home improvement businesses so they can scale, there's maybe like a couple of people in here, right? There's not too many. And so the niche as such isn't saturated because there's still a whole bunch of problems that you can solve here, right? There's only a couple of people in here. When it comes to actually, systemizing and scaling things, there's barely anyone. But everyone's focusing on marketing because this is what people have been told to do, right? And so in my opinion, it's not as if the niche is saturated. It's not even as if the offer is saturated. It makes the niche saturated because everyone wants to do the same thing. But if you put yourself out there and you say, I'm going to speak to these business owners, I'm going to find out what their problem is, and I'm going to solve that problem no matter what, then you're going to be able to have a bit of a blue ocean, right? And so instead of promising appointments and business and stuff like that, which is a marketing thing, instead you can say, I'm going to double your team and you won't pay a penny until you're happy with the team that you've got. Something like that. And that is a brand new offer. It's the same niche, so that niche is not saturated anymore. And that offer would probably bang. And if you had a service that could deliver that, you could probably generate a ton of business, and you could get to that 10K way quicker than if you want to do marketing or something like that. And so this is the way that I see niches, at least. It's not as if the market is always going to be full of these people that want to do marketing. Eventually they will start to drop out. So if you just stick with it and you have a very good service and you have good client acquisition systems and you know how to sign clients and you know how to bring money in, then you will be fine. But obviously you're going to be competing with the very best there. You've got to be very, very good at what you do. But if you did move into something that's a bit different, then I think there's a fair chance that you're going to have more success with that. So what I would do is, if you're looking for a niche that is actually a bit out there, you're looking for no competition, you're looking for a bit of a blue ocean, is I would go onto some kind of directory, whether this is, Better Business Bureau, whether this is like Yellow Pages if you're in the UK, something like that. And you can find categories of businesses that you've maybe not heard of before, or maybe you haven't realized that you could do marketing for this. And all you really have to do is to figure out one marketing strategy, whether this is, database reactivation, Facebook ads, something like that, and then go figure this out for the niche specifically and and you have a bit of a blue ocean there. Most of these guys that you approach won't have ever been approached really, because they haven't heard of an agency that does this specifically for their business. And you're going to be, there's going to be no one competing with you at this point. So once you actually have some case studies and some testimonials and stuff like that, it's going to take a while before someone realizes what you're doing and someone realizes this is a business. And everyone that you get on a call has been doing this for the first time. So a lot of your sales techniques will work well, your outreach techniques will work really well. And that's the way that I would do it, at least. If you're looking for maybe not a marketing service, maybe you're thinking, I really want to work in home improvement, but I don't want to do marketing. I want to do something that is going to be beneficial. I'm not going to have to compete, but still work in this niche. What I would do is I would call these guys up and literally just ask them, what problems do you have right now? What would improve your business? I'm looking for, a way to fix problems or something like that. You can always call up and just say that you are a student working on some kind of assignment, or you have something to ask them because of, some kind of studies or something that you're doing. That's probably going to get your response rate a lot higher and people are going to be more engaging with you. But obviously, if you don't want to be dishonest, then you can just tell them exactly what you're doing. You're looking at starting a business and you want to solve some problems. And this is going to give you tons of data, right? Obviously, make sure that you ask a lot of people. You don't just do it off the first guy that you speak to. And if there's a constant theme there where they tell you, we don't have enough staff, there's not enough employees, we need to hire people, we need to go and find people, then that's a problem that you can solve, right? If you just focus on marketing all the time and you say, what problems do you have right now? Do you have an issue getting customers? And everyone tells you that, we have more customers than we know what to do with, we're booked for the next 6 months, then I'd probably avoid marketing services for that niche. And that's basically what it's getting to with a lot of these different niches now, because there's so many marketing agencies that are good at what they do. People are spending money on advertising because there's many marketing agencies, giving them great offers to spend money on advertising. And so, these problems aren't really being fixed because there is no problem in the first place. And so basically that's what I would say to that. So if you are looking to sign more clients on a done for you basis, go ahead and click the first link in the description. Don't worry, we're not going to ask you for your email or your phone number. There's no sign in or opt in or anything like that. It's literally just a video of me explaining how my company does this on a done for you basis. Obviously, you don't have to click it, of course. If you just want to watch the content, then that is completely fine. But if you did enjoy it, go ahead and click the like button and obviously comment anything below that you would like to see me cover. But yeah, subscribe if you want to see more. Appreciate you watching this one to the end. Cheers.